Greetings to all true boxing enthusiasts. This is a new segment called Fighter Portrait. We analyze boxers, not just their stats or some facts, but we dig deeper, looking at their technique, strengths, and weaknesses. Basically, I tried to make these videos in a way that you can enjoy watching them even years from now. The hero of today's episode is the rising star of world boxing from America, Keyshawn Davis. He's currently 24 years old, with 10 fights, 10 wins, and 7 knockouts. Also, his height. He's pretty tall. Some sources say he's 1.73 meters, while others say he's already grown to 1.75 meters. He has a large wingspan. Keyshawn Davis's nickname is the businessman, although he actually looks more like a fun guy. He's always smiling and laughing, kind of like Snoop Dogg. And by the way, he also likes to spend his time outside of boxing just like Snoop Dogg. That's why, at one point, he even failed the doping test. Now, Keyshawn Davis is a silver medalist at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. And that's no coincidence, because Olympic boxing relies heavily on physical talent. Do you have speed or not? Do you have agility or not? You can be as technical as you want, but a long-armed, fast, agile Cuban will just step into Olympic boxing and I'll point you. In other words, you have to be very gifted. And Keyshawn has that. That is, he's fast. At the same time, his boxing style is professional. He doesn't bounce around on his toes. He doesn't make any unnecessary movements. He's very economical in the ring. He steps, pauses, feints when needed, and accelerates at the right moment. By the way, that's something Floyd Mayweather and Shakur Stevenson were known for as well. Now, what are Keyshawn's weaknesses? And on the other hand, he has a unique strength. The downside is, if you pay attention, well, of course Keyshawn throws a jab, but strangely enough, he almost never throws a straight right. Most of Keyshawn Davis's punches are hooks. Many will object. How come it doesn't hit? He constantly launches forward like a rocket. Yes, but in terms of structure, his punch is actually more like a hook. A straight punch is when your elbow is underneath. A straight punch, well, that's a complicated technique. But he basically throws hooks forward, you could say, right? So they're going forward, but the elbow is immediately out to the side, and it's really built like a hook. What's the downside? It's much harder to land punches like that. The thing is, Keyshawn Davis is training with Bobby. That's the same coach who trains Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is a unique fighter, and Terrence Crawford also mainly throws hooks, strangely enough. So even instead of straight punches, Crawford often throws those upward shots, and somehow he manages to land them. Other boxers, generally speaking, find it harder to land with hooks. Crawford has mastered it. And if you look at Keyshawn Davis, a couple of years ago, when he was younger, he was just tearing it up. He had tons of energy, but he was kind of throwing punches all over the place. He just keeps swinging and swinging, but his opponent wouldn't go down. But now, here we are in 2023. I watched his recent fight with those guys, and you know, it feels like something has shifted, like Keyshawn has finally found his style, throwing those hooks along curved trajectories. You get what I mean? It's like a hook. What's wrong with that? That's clear. Every punch matters in boxing. But a hook is kind of like, what's easier to hit with? A sniper rifle or a bow? Well, obviously, with a rifle, because it shoots straight. But with a bow, the arrow flies along a complicated path, so you have to calculate a lot more. It's the same with punches. So, the downside for Keyshawn is that he mostly throws hooks. Now, a very big plus, and what really sets him apart from the vast majority of modern boxers, is that modern boxing has become obsessed with CrossFit. Even if you just type into YouTube how to make your punch stronger or how to increase punching power, most of the videos will basically be about physical training. Like throw the barbell quickly, right? Push a resistance band, do something else, lift some kettlebell, strengthen your wrist. Yeah, by the way, all of that is good, but if you don't have the basic punching technique, and as funny as it sounds, even world or Olympic champions often don't have it. A lot of them don't actually hit hard, at least from a technical standpoint. So you can strengthen your wrist, your elbow, work on your physical conditioning, do squats, whatever you want, jump around. That's all good, those are good things, but they won't give you proper punching technique. And if you take a look, I'll insert a clip now, like when Keyshawn Davis recently finished off a very tough mid-level fighter, actually almost a top contender, Jose Pedraza. Pay attention to what happens to Jose Pedraza. You'll notice something strange happening to him. What exactly? The fact that he gets pushed back by the punches. In other words, Keyshawn isn't just shaking him up with his punches, breaking him down. He's actually kind of pushing him, you could say, basically knocking him off balance. This pushing element in the punch itself isn't really a good thing. It's actually a side effect, but actually it's even a drawback. He pushes a little instead of really punching, right? But it's a very solid foundation. There's a reason for it. The thing is, Keyshawn Davis really puts his whole body weight into his punches. That is, his punch starts from his legs, then the rotation goes from his legs to his hips, and there's a constant rotation of his shoulders. And from there, he brings up his hands. So it's like he pierces through his opponent, driving in his forearm. And yes, for now, sometimes it's more of a push. But the most important thing is that he transfers his body weight very effectively. And later on, he'll refine and perfect all of this. And most likely, he'll hone his punches so well that he'll be like a new Terence Crawford in terms of punching power. But even faster, right? Maybe even more naturally gifted. Although, again, Crawford is a unique boxer. He has his own strengths, right? But the thing about Keyshawn Davis is that, which is pretty unusual for modern boxing, he really focuses on the fundamentals of punching technique, especially making sure his punches come from his legs and that he transfers the weight of his whole body into them. In other words, he doesn't just throw his punches with his arms. He really uses serious torso rotation, making sure to drive his forearms in. Right, he really puts his whole body weight behind his punches. Well, that was our experimental episode. Let's see how it goes. If this segment takes off, I'll keep making more. And thank you for watching this video. Also, if you're interested in my fight predictions, I run a paid, private Telegram channel called Boxing Club. I'll leave the link. All the best to everyone. See you next time. Turning off the camera.